I'm not buying a whole lot right now.
You're not buying a lot right now to sell.
Well, to sell, yeah. Yeah, what you said. Start.
You know, I think
mindset change. Just change it.
Stuart, I thought you were talking about marriage for a second. You were like, you don't get paid, you just get yelled at all the time. They drive you through the mud.
And we're like, and?
I was like, yes, I do know that this is a show.
That is not how my marriage is.
I mean, that's not what he said off camera. So. Stuart will be watching the first 2 minutes for sure now. Maybe. Wes, did you put that in there? Welcome back, everyone, to the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast, episode 51. Gentlemen, I missed you guys last week.
Hey, buddy.
Missed being here.
It's weird. It was weird, like watching our podcast without us.
Who's on the show tonight? Not me.
David did such a good job. I feel like this is like an audition to keep my job this week.
I know. Yeah, I was surprised my email still worked. But guys, fret not. Sturt and I are back, episode 51. And not to mention, guys, we have a live coming up this week too. Things are happening. But it's good to be back. Shout out to David Beckham for filling in for us. Yeah. I know the first thing I noticed was the blue behind your head, and the picture was gone.
Oh, it's big time gone. It's been taken off to the thrift store. So it's
She's subtle, that wife of yours. Very subtle.
She's very, very subtle. And all these behind me, there's different strands of blue and gray up there. So I think that's what we're leaning closer toward, that one right there. So I don't know.
Yeah, perfectly frames the top of your head right now.
Yeah, see, I know.
Did she strategically pick that location?
I think so. More or less to ramp up my let's get this done and get my background behind me.
Yeah, she was like, if I mess up his little podcast background.
Ooh. So, hey, your little painting, you want to know where your little podcast background is? It's over there at Ambets. I should go buy it and bring it back and put it up.
I'll go get it and put it up in my.
Just head over and go get it. You should probably get it at a pretty good fair price, I guess. So that would be funny. That would be very funny.
That'd be amazing.
I don't know if y'all noticed where I put up that little short, my Braves jersey I found.
That's pretty sharp, man.
Yeah, I found that at Ambets. What a great pick. And it's got the 1995 World Series on here.
No, that's the one they won, right?
Yeah, that's the one they won. It's Chipper Jones' jersey. Down here at the bottom, you can't see it, but it's got his name on it too. And then there where it says 30 seasons, that's a patch sewn on there.
So what did that set you back at Ambets?
$6.60.
Wow.
Nice.
So if you were to sell it, what does one like that sell for?
I don't know. I haven't checked because this is another one of those things, John. I've been thinking about keeping it, but here's the thing: it don't fit very well, so it's a little snug, you know. So
I didn't know you were a Braves fan.
Oh yeah, I like the Braves. I like the Pirates too. Those are my two teams. There was a spot on the sleeve that they had it for $12 and something. And I showed her the stain on it, and she goes, "Oh, no problem. I'll take 50% off." And I was sitting there going, "I don't really want you to do that." I said, "I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it." She goes, "Well, I'm taking 50% off for you." And I said, "Well, then I guess I'm buying it." So I really don't know what they sell for. I have no clue, but it's a super nice jersey. It's all, sewn and everything. So
looks like it looks like Wes that. I mean, I don't know if the stain would take away the value any, but
there's no stain now. It come right off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's several what look to be that exact jersey. I can't tell 100% sure, but just anywhere between $80 and $125. So
wow.
Yeah, you might as well just keep it.
Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll hang it up here behind me. It's almost baseball season.
Yeah.
My wife would love that, wouldn't she? That wouldn't work out so well. Now, the second thing I want to discuss is this right here, boys. You ready?
Oh, what? Visit Knoxville.com. Is it a calendar?
It's
Or
an
a brochure?
It's an actual magazine.
Wow.
Check
Are
that out.
we in there?
We
Yeah,
are
I was
not.
gonna say.
No. We are not in there.
Do we need to
That's my
sponsor an ad?
My goal is to get us in there.
I was going to say for next year we need to like see how much it costs to sponsor a quarter page or something.
Stuart, it would be awesome if in one of your booths you could put like as seen on visitknoxville.com. Just a little.
But I sent off for it. You can see the envelope. It is actually really neat. There's a lot of things. But yeah, it's even got a map in there. Look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah. So there we go. Our goal is to get into visitknoxville.com.
Visit Knoxville.com. Do you think any other podcast or any other social media platform minus Visit Knoxville.com itself promotes Visit Knoxville more than we do?
There can't be. There absolutely can't be. You're an adjunct professor kind of for Visit Knoxville, and then here Stuart and I are actually in the Knoxville area. There's a lot to offer though, Johnny. We talk about Dollywood all the time too. You know, Dollywood maybe needed to give us a sponsorship. What do you think? Think they'd do it?
At least Stuart.
Or maybe even the Braves. We live close enough. We're only like 2.5 hours from there. So
Yeah, now that
Come
you're
on.
a fan.
come on, Bravos. What do you call them? Bravos. So, gentlemen, missed you on episode 50.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird.
And to miss such a milestone episode too, number.
I know that was
Yeah, like Johnny said earlier, big thanks to David Beckham for stepping
They're real.
up to the plate. So
He did.
No
And,
pun intended.
But he's always willing to pitch in for us and come in and join us, and he did a great job. And I think it was a good episode. Had a lot to talk about. We even talked about did and all those little things. But I want to jump back into you, Stuart, talking about where you were on Whatnot. Kind of take us through what happened to you on that show.
I soldiered through, but it was tough. I mean, I was, it's so two shows in a row. I guess the first Friday I was starting to feel bad. I mean, I made it through that. Then, the last show I was feeling really, really bad. And it's funny because so much of Whatnot, I think, the audience can feel your energy, and like that was my lowest attended show in my last 6, and I think it was just because I was just so blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I still did okay, but I only had like 10 to 12 people in the show versus the 20 plus I'd been having. I think it was all because of my lack of energy.
Well, I actually picked up on it myself because I caught the tail end of that show. I was like, what's up with Stuart? I kept watching you, and you're just like, guys, I'm sorry. I'm just not here.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm still not 100%, so I'm probably not bringing my usual energy even tonight. But, I mean, it just takes – we have a neighbor who had this same kind of crud. It literally took him 3 weeks to get over it completely. I'm feeling 100% better than I was. But
well, that's good.
Yeah, because last Sunday when you recorded with David, I mean, I thought when I first got up, well, maybe I can do this. And then by like 10 a.m., I was just like, no, I can't.
Right.
That was definitely the worst day. But it'd been a long time since I've been sick, too. So it's.
Well, Johnny,
That's like the hard part about Whatnot. Like just having to perform.
Well,
you got to be on.
Well, it just kind of, it stinks when you do this for a living now. And I mean, I had to just make myself still list and, package stuff up. But it was hard. But, it's not like you got a job where you're getting paid even if you call in sick,
But do you set your parameters, though, Stuart, to I'm going to go 3 hours. I'm going to go 4 hours. I mean, could you not have just said, "Hey guys,
Well,
I'm starting to feel a bit under the way"? But I realize if you don't, then you don't make
yeah,
money. I mean,
I could have, but I mean, like I said, I was selling stuff. So, and I did go. Well, I still went to 4:30. I still went over 3 hours, I think. But
when I was in Buffalo, Lizzie got sick, but she was the only one home to pack up orders and do all that, and you can't like call out sick and your coworkers help you out. It's the there's definitely cons of being an entrepreneur in something like this. It's not like you can just ask somebody to pull your orders.
I mean, and think about that too, Johnny. Stuart, if you're a single person, you're out sick for 3 weeks. I mean, that's going to set you back.
oh yeah, I mean, to some extent, you've at least got to make a minimum effort to do something. I mean, you've got to. I mean, I tried to still list a couple of things every day, and I still had really good sales days, so I was still having to run to the post office and drop stuff off. I mean, fortunately, I was just going to the back, so I wasn't having to go into the post office and get anybody else sick. But, but yeah, that is a challenge. I mean, I guess, it's not just I guess anybody's in business for themselves and you don't have employees. It's, I mean, the good thing, at least with reselling, it is somewhat, especially when I've got the 3 booths. I mean, those, I'm not taking stuff to them every day anyway. So those continue to perform well. And, I don't know about y'all. I think this will be our last show of January, but this January's just been off the charts good as far as sales. It's, I think I'm going to end up with my second best month ever, with my first best month ever being last month, December of 2024. Awesome. I'm going to, hopefully I can continue this throughout the year.
I'm still listing 5 to 7 things every day. I'm sticking with it. Sales are pretty steady. It's working. Boy, it's tough, though, I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm not buying a lot to sell right now.
Yeah.
So, let me say that. But I did pick this gym up the other day.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It was great.
It's going to look good sitting in your closet.
No, Johnny. It's too small. It's just too small.
Yeah,
I actually thought, Johnny, that you... What? Yeah, don't rip it.
Flex and rip
it. I actually thought, Johnny, you would have a Buffalo Bills jersey on this evening.
No, we're in mourning.
Man, they let all of America down.
All of America.
Everybody outside Kansas City, man. It's just
we were the Pittsburgh Bills last night.
Yeah, it was tough, man. I mean, you knew it was going to be a good close game. Nobody was going to blow anybody out, but we're just not there yet, I guess.
Oh, that guy could easily caught that pass.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird angle.
It was a weird angle. And I don't know that he was expecting it completely, but like kidding, it's like.
Mm-hmm. Well, the rules. If it hits your hands, you got to catch it, and that was right in the arms. But
any of the 3 of us would have caught it. So
for sure.
100%. The fact that it was cold out there, the fact you had like 4 defensive backs around you.
Life of a Bills fan. It's always dramatic and terrible.
Do you find y'all sourcing changes any this time of year, Johnny, or is it pretty much the same year round since y'all are primarily doing the bins and thrift shops?
I mean, I will say it's better right now.
Oh, really?
It's better than it's been in a long time. I think we get a lot of like closet clear out people out with the old. But our thrift stores from a clothing standpoint, knock on wood, has been great lately.
Is that because of the Christmas clear out when you get things?
That's what I would assume.
Yeah. Well, now that means that spring clear out's coming then.
Yeah, I'm waiting for everyone to start getting their tax returns so they can start spending that unwisely.
That usually is a pretty good bump right there when people start getting that money back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I find this time of year's like with the kind of stuff I source, just there's not any garage sales, there's not many estate sales. I mean, I've been fortunate I've had a few people call me to go look at some stuff, but I'm having to rely on like a lot of online auctions, which it's hard to get value on those just because I mean, you're competing against the internet, and I mean, I'm going to pick up quite a bit of stuff tomorrow, but that I won over the weekend in some online auctions, but I still probably overpaid a little bit for the stuff versus what I would normally like to pay. But I mean, it's just at some point I've got to get stuff, to keep listing too. Even if my margin's going to be a little lower.
And I've noticed like hard goods, because I look, I don't really pick up much of it, but like our Goodwills, it's just all Christmas stuff right now. I mean, there's just rows and rows of Christmas stuff. And 2 or 3 weeks ago, we bought what was probably somebody's pretty significant Department 56 Christmas collection and just went through and started comping all of them, and we've sold like 3 or 4 of them for like $75 to $100. And we paid like $7 or $8 a piece. But like even the hard good stuff has just been like old used crappy TVs and Christmas stuff. And our Goodwill for some reason thinks people want to spend $60 on a used 20-inch flat screen when you can buy a new one for $85, but whatever.
But wasn't it, Stuart, you sold the silver Christmas tree? Didn't you have 2 of them? You sold one of them?
I actually ended up selling both of them. I sold a 4-foot one for $200, and then I sold the 6-foot, and I sold that one actually online. I think I sold it on Etsy. Went to somebody in North Carolina, but not Molly. And then the 6-foot one I sold in my booth, and I think I sold it for $4.99, maybe something like that.
Nice.
But I mean, it was a really nice one. Like a guy next to me, and it was funny. The guy in the booth right next to me had a 6-foot tree as well. But I was looking at his box. He had the box as well, and his had, I think, 40 palms, the little branches. And mine had 86, so it was the same size, but like twice as thick, I guess. And
wow.
The only thing I wished I would have had one of the color wheels. Have you ever seen those that go with those trees? They were basically a wheel that had like 4 different colors on it, and it would spin, and it had a bulb on the backside that got to be like 800 degrees. I mean, it would be.
We're gonna burn this place down
without the tree. But yeah, I mean, the bulb, it had the original bulb in it, and that thing, it's like those when you get slide projectors that have those original bulbs. I mean, the things literally can melt, melt anything that comes close to them.
But a good reminder, Christmas sells all year round. I mean, even, weeks after Christmas, things are.
Is there a possibility, though, of finding one of those trees at a Goodwill, maybe, Johnny?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean, could be.
I mean, our Goodwill has all of our Christmas stuff is on like clearance. So they're just like putting all their Christmas stuff out as it comes in. So, and they're on sale. So ours doesn't hold a lot like to Christmas, if that makes sense.
I wonder how likely it would be one of those would ever see the floor, or would they send it to their online auction place? If somebody knows what they got, because those sell pretty good.
Yeah, I just wonder if they look at it from like a shipping standpoint, like when stuff gets big.
Yeah, and then I guess it would all depend on who's pricing. I mean, if they know what they got, they may price it too high.
But Goodwill pricing is its own beast.
And I don't know if I've been on since this happened. I've been consigning some stuff for this person I go to church with, and they've been bringing me really good stuff. And So I took a bunch of stuff to the auction here locally. And I thought, anytime I have flatware, I always look to see if it's sterling. And for some reason, I didn't on this particular time. So, I take this whole box, I just put flatware on the sheet that I gave him. And I don't remember what else I'd taken. He called me. He said, "Hey, the stuff you bought me was sterling?" I said, "No." I said, "I really appreciate you calling me and letting me know." He said, "We're not going to put it in this week's auction. We're going to, piece it out into knives, forks, spoons, weigh everything." And that stuff ended up going, I don't know how many pieces it was, but it ended up going for like $1,400.
Holy crap.
Wow.
And which I think's more because it had the weights on there. And I think it definitely went more than if I'd have tried to list it on eBay. I still had to pay them their 28%. That's, auctions have pretty expensive commissions. Right. And then I had to split it with the person I was selling it for, but it was easy money for me. But, I don't know what would have happened if he would have just thrown it out there and not looked at it. And, people coming to preview, somebody might have figured it out, but I was so happy that he discovered that. And I was
that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm like, how did I not see that? Because like I said, anytime I see, I got bags of flatware over here that I've been going through, see if any of it was sterling. I found like one piece, but most of it, it's like, it's all this. Whoops. I've just got Ziploc bags full of stuff I picked up at yard sales and everything. But
yeah, that's definitely doing you a solid there.
Yeah.
When do yard sales start to kick up again?
I would say here it seems like it's usually, if it gets warm early, you might see a few in March, but like April, I think is when.
That's what I was going to say, April.
Mm-hmm. And then, you'll see them all the way through like October. I think my brothers and I did that Chattanooga yard sale trip. That may have been September. And, we did really well. So there was still a lot in September, October. Then I think they dry up after that.
Yeah, I feel like ours stopped like the first week in November. But even then there was like two in the whole town.
Yeah.
But we do like our area, like when we get the church rummage sales, like those tend to be like October, November. We don't get a lot of those during the summer.
I've done pretty well at some church yard sales before. I don't know if people, they put the guilt trip on and bring stuff or what, but sometimes you'll get some pretty good stuff, and a lot of times they don't really seem to do much research. They just kind of
they just put it out.
So.
And that's like a great spot for vintage too, because it's just all these old ladies that their husbands have probably been dead for 20 years, but all that stuff stayed in the closet, and then they just bring it out, and you're like, "What? This is amazing!"
Thank you.
Like, thanks, Chester.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have either one of you all been to like Peaches to Beaches or Flick Across Florida? Have y'all ever done those?
We did whatever one's in like eastern North Carolina, whatever route or highway or whatever it is.
I've done the 127, then I did that one over near Johnny that I did with Molly and her husband when Amy and I went over there. And I can't remember which route that was, but it's the one that was in Virginia.
Came down 301, not 301. It's 11. Right. I don't know. But yeah,
it was pretty good. We bought home a whole carload full of stuff. Of course, the 127, that's the one that really attracts all the big YouTubers, and you'll have a ton of people here filming, and I did that.
Yeah.
Fast. Me and a buddy went and started in Crossville and went.
Is that the one where you did a lot of the side streets that were actually?
Yeah, in any of those kind of things, I think that's the trick. Is to look for yard sale signs that are off on side streets.
Mm-hmm.
I found quite a bit of stuff even at some of the tent villages. Where they have just people set up under big tents and all that. especially if you're there on that last day when people don't want to load everything back up and take it home, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Just make me an offer.
Yeah.
I think for us selling mostly clothes, they're a little underwhelming, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of like old tools and.
Now, Johnny, when you go over to the Nashville Flippers meetup, are you looking to find some stuff over there? Are you going to try to go to some yard sale, garage sales, or are you?
Yeah, so it looks like there's like a meet and greet Friday, and then Saturday people are going yard sailing and then going to the bins, and then Sunday the Nashville Flipper invited everybody to his church's service, but we'll probably skip that and just do some thrifting and then head on back over. I'm an old school Catholic boy, so the non-denominational rock band stuff just I need to stand, kneel, sit.
Probably not a lot of genuflecting going on there. At, well, my daughter is getting married in the Catholic Church, Johnny. So,
oh, that's good. Have my blessing.
I'm still considering going at least on that Saturday anyway. I may try to come up that Friday and catch like you said, like a Friday, Saturday, but that's probably going to be about it for me.
Yeah, and some of that stuff can be a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see everybody, meet who we haven't met, and hang out a little bit. But you have a day and a half of that's probably good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And as we get closer, Wes, I mean, I just can't commit to go because it's the weekend before Jenna's wedding. But there's a good chance there may not be anything going on Saturday. So
right.
maybe if you want to just ride over for the day, we can go together. But we can talk about it as we get closer.
We've wanted to go to the Nashville bins for a while, so I guess it gives us an excuse to do that.
Right. Just expense it all out and go, hey, we made
it's a business. It's all a business expense.
It's nothing but a business trip. That's all it is.
That's it. See?
Yeah. I think it'd be neat to meet some other sellers, though. Resell.
Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. That's like something that we need to get better at, I think, is just like networking with the community a little more. So it'd be
well,
good.
You and Lizzie absolutely need a plan to come over here for the 127 yard sale. Because that's definitely one that we could probably spend Friday and Saturday, maybe go south one day and north another day, and it's just a lot of fun, even if you don't find a ton of stuff, and you run into all kind of people on that one.
Yeah, that's cool, and we love to because we can cut through. Well, I'll have to see what the road situation is, but we like to thrift in Boone and Asheville too, heading that way. So that'd be a fun long weekend for us.
Yeah.
That'd be a whole lot of thrifting for you, Johnny.
That's how we like it. I felt bad watching your guys' episode last week. I didn't want David to do too well. I didn't want to find out that Stuart and I's password didn't work anymore.
August 7th through the 10th. It's the 127.
Okay.
It's 191 days, 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 54 seconds from now, according to their website.
Wow.
But I think that's the official, what they set, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 days. 13. Yeah, so that's counting Thursday to Sunday, but somebody told me you can also get some good deals. I mean, people start setting up literally the weekend before, and you can go.
I'm sure
you can go before all the people get there and get some really good deals. And so August 7th is the start of that one. I guess that's probably a Thursday, if I was guessing.
And of course, I just started back to school. So
yeah, you might can do Saturday though.
Maybe. It's not that far. Yeah,
I mean, it's just, you basically go up to Crossville and you can get and right off the interstates where it starts, or I mean,
Yeah, it's not that far.
but where you can jump on.
And it goes north from Crossville
And south from Cross. I mean, it
and
starts
south from. Okay.
starts in like Indiana and goes all the way down to Alabama, I think. It crosses, it's like 7 states or something, or 5 states. Yeah, I think it originally, I was reading the history of it. It originally started somewhere down in Alabama, like it's a city yard sale, and then it just kept kind of expanding out. But I know it goes all up through the mountains in Chattanooga. It's one of, I don't know if it's Lookout Mountain or Signal Mountain, one of those. It goes through there.
What's its official title, Stuart?
The world's longest yard sale.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just Google world's longest yard sale, it's what comes up. But yeah, it's the Highway 127 sale. So we have our live coming up right after this show.
Mm-hmm. That's up next, right?
Yeah, and we don't have to face the embarrassment of, having fallen below 200 subscribers. It doesn't.
We have a nice
At least
little
not
cushion.
yet.
We've got
not
enough
yet.
of the cushion. What'll happen is they'll watch this episode and 26 people go, oh, we'll show them.
Yeah, I'll show them. Thanks,
Because I
Stuart.
think we're at like 225 now. So, we're well on our way to 300.
We actually jumped up to 226, and then we dropped to 224, and now we're back to 225. So somebody's in there just going, ha, ha, ha.
Well, as long as 10% of our subscribers don't fall off in the next week, we'll be all right.
Right. But that's going to be on Sunday.
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 Everyone will just have to miss the Pro Bowl flag football game.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm not interested in that.
yeah, hopefully that won't steal too much of our audience.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Something tells me we'll be all right.
I will say this, Johnny. The next day, now this is back when the Steelers played the Green Bay Packers, and somewhere around 2010, I think, in Super Bowl 45. Of course, the Steelers lost. The very next day, I had my Steelers jersey on, and I remember somebody saying, "Boy, you must be a true Steelers fan." I said, "Oh, I am." I said, "We took it on the chin, but
I went and took our packages to the post office today, and one of the guys that normally works behind the counter, they were like, I wasn't expecting you to leave the house today. I said, I'm working to keep my mind off of it.
So how are you mentally right now, Johnny? Let's talk about that.
It's not good, man. It's not, it's good to be invested in something you can't control, but when it goes bad, whoa, man, it really just puts you south for sure. It sucks. Like, I think we could have beat Philly. It was not our best played game, and I get that. And there were some ref calls that were maybe a little questionable, but you have to get yourself in a position to where those ref calls don't matter. And we were just ugh.
If you could erase one of those rough calls, though, what would it have been?
So that catch was stupid. It was that was not a catch, but I get it because it's like baseball, right? Like tie goes to the runner, so fine, whatever. But not the fourth down that he got that they didn't give to him, but the play before that, the third down that they didn't give to him. I wish we would have challenged that. Mm-hmm. Instead of rushing up to the line and trying to do the sneak that didn't work 12 times.
I was going to say, so at what point does the coach say the tush push does not work for us like it works for the Eagles? Let's not run it again. Let's, Josh Allen's so mobile. Let's get him outside or run it off. That one's all on the Bills there.
Well, because I was reading something earlier that it was successful 11 of the 12 times they had tried it this season. So they only got stopped once. So I think they were like, well, God, if they stop this once, surely, but just by the odds of it, it'll work, going forward. But you would think after the second time, you're like, okay, plan B. But they kind of died on that sword.
Yeah.
And our running back, James Cook, was running all over them. You couldn't have just called a run play, spread some receivers out, and just run the ball. So the coaching had me a little perturbed.
Do you think they should outlaw the tush push?
No.
I don't either.
I mean, this is the same thing that they
coming.
said. Yeah, but like when Miami first brought in the Wildcat, right? Mm-hmm. And like, oh, nobody can stop the Wildcat. This is the future of football. And then by like 2 seasons later, it was gone, and no one really does it ever anymore. So right. I feel like the game yesterday was like a showing of the end of it. Like defenses are finally figuring out how to stop it, and it'll just go away on its own. But no need to change rules.
You can just keep on jumping over the pile like the guy for the Redskins. Yeah, for the Redskins.
That was hilarious.
Well, that's why it was like dumb that baseball banned the shift. Like eventually guys would just learn to hit the other way, and it would work. Like you didn't need to ban the shift for that.
Right.
It evolves.
Same thing in reselling. You have to evolve, correct?
That's right. Adapting and evolving.
I mean, you have changes that come, different things that come our way, different pricing. How do you all think you've evolved in the last couple of years anyway with all the changes and stuff? Stuart, I'll let you go first. How have you evolved?
Well, I think, always looking for new types of things to sell, if nothing else. I mean, and going from eBay to 5 platforms. I mean, I used to be so nervous about cross posting. Like I was so scared that before I even used List Perfectly, I was on a couple of different marketplaces, but I would like only put this on eBay, only put this on Etsy, put this here, and I was worried A, something might sell and I wouldn't catch it, and B, like somebody might see it in both places, and I don't really know what that would do, but for some reason it made me nervous that
you're selling over here and you're selling over there.
Yeah. And I mean, you kind of learn that Etsy buyers are Etsy people and eBay buyers are eBay people for the most part. I think I've had one time since I've been cross posting that the same person bought something from me on 2 different platforms. I mean, it's like, could you not tell the pictures were exactly the same? But just in general, I think with reselling, you've got to be pretty flexible and not like get just locked into certain processes because there's so many things that you have no control over, whether it's, the marketplace is changing the way their listing flow works or what they allow or what they don't allow. And, I mean, I know you get on the Facebook groups for reselling. I mean, some people just get like so bent out of shape when one little thing changes and they can't like keep their little perfect system going or whatever. I think you got to be really go with the flow and just adapt. And I would say the cross listing is probably the biggest evolution I made, and then going into the live selling, because for me that was a really big jump because I was really nervous like about going to Whatnot because I had never done anything like that. Right. I mean, I'd really never done any like in front of the camera stuff at all. I'd been interviewed for the List Perfectly Reseller podcast. And then I think I jumped here and there on like some people's live streams when they would like say, hey, here's the link if anybody wants to come on and talk about anything. But for the most part, I'd never been in front of the camera. So that was another big evolution.
Has the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast helped you to be a better Whatnot presenter, or has Whatnot helped you be a better presenter on here, vice versa?
Probably kind of like, they probably complement each other. I definitely feel like I've gotten more comfortable in front of the camera. And this is a little different than Whatnot just because I'm interacting with the two of you, which makes it easier. Whatnot, you're kind of on an island and, it's up to you to fill that 3 hours with something other than just silence.
You sit there going, we're going to wait. We're going to let Johnny come on in. Hey, Johnny, good to see you. Come on in. Good to see you, Stuart. Appreciate you joining me today. Not sure what's going to be in the boxes, but we're going to open them up, and we're going to have dollar starts. What about you, Johnny? Your evolution as far as being a reseller.
I think the biggest thing is we stopped kind of living and dying by each transaction, and just like say we sent, like when we first started, right? Like say we sent a shirt and somebody messaged us and was like, hey, this has a hole in it, like, and we missed it, we would just be like, oh yeah, sorry, I'll give you $5 back for it, and then like they would get mad because in our head we were like, we got to hold on to as much of this money as possible. And I think now, like, if we goof, we just, here's a refund, like we'll recover from it. And I think just kind of allowing that a lot has changed it. Like, knock on wood, we're about to get rid of all of our negative feedbacks on eBay within 2 months, because we stopped trying to, like, I don't want to say be cute, but be cute a little bit, and just kind of like, hey, we're sorry, like here's all your money back, and not really like living and dying by each transaction. Right. And I think it's made our business better. I think it's helped our integrity on things, and you just don't live. I was talking with somebody the other day who does daily payouts. Like, they were like, if something pays, I need that money. And which is fine. We do weekly payouts because it's just better to kind of know how our weeks are. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like, you don't want your buyers to know that you're living like sale to sale per se. So that way you do take care of them if something goes wrong, or you goof and you don't try to, like, I mean, even when we first started, like, oh God, I hope they don't notice this. You just send it and you kind of like cross your fingers.
Every day you're like, please don't.
Yeah, and then of course they would find it because you saw it. Right. Why wouldn't they see it? And you're just, you kind of like step your integrity up a little bit, but you're not, obviously you're trying to make money. That's the whole point of this, but like, right. It doesn't come off as number one on your mission statement, if that makes sense.
Right. It's kind of freeing too when you just quote unquote eat it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because you're like, they found it, they saw it, I missed it. And usually now for me, a lot of it is I just missed it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, we're not going to go around the horn here. I'm sorry, there's your money back. Enjoy the product, whatever's, my apologies. That's been the thing for me.
Well, and I definitely think, I guess if you were having returns happen all the time, maybe you'd have to step back and think differently about it. I have so few return requests. I'm like Johnny. If they say anything, I usually just refund it and move on because, time's money too. And any time I spend worrying about that or, processing a return through them, it's just, usually my cost of goods sold's low enough and stuff that I just, I don't want people watching this to go start buying stuff from me and just asking.
Well, and some free stuff you can get it today at Franklin Hill Ventures.
I do think I've said before, the good thing with the type of stuff I sell, I'm not worried, and I know Johnny's mentioned this. When you're doing clothes, you run into the short-term rental business, where people are just wanting to buy it. And so, right. And I'm sure you kind of get a feel for those kind of returns, Johnny. With the kind of stuff I sell, for the most part, you can look at the pictures and know I do want this. And so unless you miss a chip or a crack or something, your return rate's just going to be really low on the kind of stuff I sell.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And our return rate is really high. We probably process 3 or 4 returns a week, but 99% is just fit. So it's just, relist, throw it back in its bin and call it a day. Very rarely do we get like item not described. And the only time that we get item not described is like a savvy eBay buyer who knows that that's how they get, because we don't have free returns on, and they know that that's how they'll get a free return. Mm-hmm.
So how much the other evolution I've made, probably one of the bigger ones is, it used to kill me to spend more than like $1 on anything I bought. If I went to yard sales, I just couldn't see past that it's better to pay $20 for something and sell it for, $50 than it is to buy something for $1 and sell it for $10. I mean, even if it's technically a lower margin, but it's just more cash. But I've gotten a lot better at knowing the whole you got to spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drop a lot of money sourcing now, and as long as I know it will pay
But
back.
that comes too, though, Stuart, with the experience that and what you're buying and what you can get for it.
And it does. I mean, it definitely comes from experience, but it is a mindset change too. I mean, it's it's hard to. It just used to be hard for me to spend a lot of money. I mean, I'd go yard selling, and I'd take $40 with me. Now I take 300 or whatever.
Yeah.
Mindset change. Just change it.
But even like when we first started, like we wanted like wows. Like we wanted to, oh man, we found this for $1 and it sold for 200. Like I need the story,
Right.
And now it's like, dang, we don't normally pay 20 for it and it only sells for 50, but you know what? This thing's going to be gone by the end of the week. And I'm going to take my $20 and run. But before, you just wanted home runs every single time.
All right. And I found too, Johnny, that like when you do those quick returns, you like are just giving their money back, that they leave pretty good feedback for you.
Yeah.
Hey, we bought it like this happened, but they were quick to refund my money back. Thank you so much. I've got several of those, over the 3 years. Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
I remember, this was a year ago. This is the last one that we got. I sold a guy a head cover, a golf head cover, and I just reused a listing, and it said like driver hybrid iron, like every keyword was in the title, right? And so I sent it off. It was like $9 free shipping, like not even a thing. And the guy gets it and he's like, hey, this isn't for a driver. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, if you don't like it, you can send it back. Like it was $9 free shipping, and now I'm going to pay, and so he's ticked off and says, screw it, never mind, I'll keep it, and then leaves negative feedback. And it just kind of hit me like, what are you doing? Like you were going to pay $6 to have this guy send it back to you when, and now, and you got a negative feedback on it. So just, you already got the negative feedback, which you want to avoid, which you thought you were doing by letting him return it, even though you probably had the wrong title, all to, at the end of the day, save $2. You're not going to last as a business that way. No. And that really kind of just was like, you know what, just, you like piss $10 here or there anyways. So, why not from a business standpoint, like make your customer happy?
Well, that's the big part of the evolution of it too, is, when you do your listings, make sure that you thoroughly go through and check what you're doing, because you don't know what some of these people put up, and you just say, do it that way. That could cost you quite a bit.
Yeah. And there's so many like item descriptions now too, that like, which I try to go through now, but somebody will be like, your item description says that this is black, but it's purple. And I'm like, why would it do that? And then you scroll 500 things down and it's like in French, like purple. And you're like, oh.
But you have to be thorough if you're going to use somebody else's stuff. You have to be very thorough with it.
Yeah. And I looked at the title. It was literally like top flight, iron, hybrid, driver, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 iron. It was a terrible title.
Send it.
So the guy thought it was a driver head cover. It was a hybrid. He's like, this doesn't fit. And instead of saying, sorry, don't worry about it, I'll refund you, I was like, send it back. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Yep, for sure.
You could probably do a cool Kenny Rogers look. That must have been what I was looking at, Stuart. I was thinking Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, subliminally, that's what you were thinking. So put him in a Kenny Rogers outfit on the thumbnail.
Now I want a rotisserie chicken.
Well, that is all the time that we have this evening on episode 51 of the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast. Gentlemen, great one tonight. Glad to have you back.
It's good to be
Yeah,
back.
that was fun. It was just kind of like riding a bike. I was a little worried about coming back after being off an episode, but I think Johnny and I jumped right back in, and hopefully, Wes, you've decided to keep us. Join us Sunday night. That'd be February, what is that, 2nd?
February 2nd, yes.
Groundhog Day.
February 2nd,
Groundhog
8
Day.
p.m. Eastern Time. We will be live and in person, so make sure you come join us. Join in the fun.
All right, gentlemen, we will see you Sunday night.
Bye, guys.